My name is Tracy. I'm 26 and I'm from London in England, and I am the sperm facial girl. Basically, I'm a blog writer. I deal with fashion, beauty, fitness, health, lifestyle and parenting, and I wrote a blog about using sperm as a facial, and it was published in a magazine called Closer, which is a kind of celebrity lifestyle gossip magazine from the UK. You can probably see that I'm talking a bit funny, which is because I have braces at the moment. As you can see, I like to blog about lots of different products for companies across the world, and I give an honest and open human approach to everything that I do. The reason that I blogged about the sperm facial was because I gave it a go and I actually enjoyed it. I think it works really well, and I shared my experience with others to try and help them. As a child, I've had a very red face, and I do have a very red face now even. Rosacea, which is a condition that leaves your skin burning hot. It cracks, it goes dry, it's very sensitive to chemicals and things, and if you use face wipes or makeup and things like that, it can really be uncomfortable, and it's like having sun damaged skin basically, but just naturally. So it's quite a horrible thing to live with. It can't ever be cured, but you can treat it with lotions and potions and things, providing that they don't react with your skin. But again, everybody's different. So because I beauty review and blog about things, a beautician actually advised me one day to try a natural remedy that would help to moisturise and soothe my skin that didn't contain chemicals and wouldn't have any negative effects on my face. Many people who have rough or dry skin have facial peels, and they put acid on their face, they remove the top layer of skin, and you're left with a really smooth, lovely, plump complexion. Unfortunately, because of my rosacea, I can't have these kind of treatments. So something that, you could go to a counter and buy a face pack, I can't. So for me, I then thought, I'm going to look into this. Things that I could apply to my face that would soothe my condition and make it look a little bit more bearable to deal with, really. I was told lots of different things that I could try, from putting raw egg on my face because it draws out the heat and it's kind of soothing, moisturising. Olive oil. Some people swear by using like porridge oats and milk and honey and natural plant extracts, aloe vera. Lots of different things really that you'd have around your house that you can find in nature or that you can make at home yourself that really doesn't cost anything at all. And they probably work just as well as face creams, depending on how your skin reacts. If it reacts well, then it's worth it, but if it doesn't, then it's not for everybody. So when I was told about the Semen facial, I heard originally about an actress that used it in America called Heather Locklear, and she was 90210 actress, and said that, it's great, give it a go. So there was some research behind it. There were dermatologists that were online who had actually looked into it and said, yeah, there are benefits of using it. If you want to know about these benefits, you can go onto my blog, which is tracykiss.com. So I did my research, and I was happy that this wasn't just a fad. It wasn't something that, men would trick you into saying or doing just so that they can jizz on your face. So I then decided to give it a go and to blog about my experience and to help other people that have skin conditions who would like to find a natural alternative to the chemicals that are on the market today. I am not against beauty products. Obviously, I love beauty products. I blog about them, I review them, and it's brilliant. But given the choice between something that contains 1,000 ingredients and is made in a laboratory, or something that contains just one ingredient and is made at home, I would choose the home-free alternative, just because it's a lot easier, it's fresher, and it doesn't cost anything, which is great. I am a mother of two, and I'm a single parent, which kind of made headlines across the world for, shock horror, this single mother puts sperm all over her face and is proud of it. And it all depends on what way you look at that, really, because I had my 2 children. I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. I had my 2 children whilst working, whilst studying and raising and supporting a family myself. I'm a good mum. My children are well educated, they're polite, they're helpful, respectful, decent, well-rounded, lovely, lovely human beings. And I'm very, very proud of them. They know that I do lots of different things, from fitness challenges to fashion, style. We have days out together, we test new children's products, and they absolutely love being a part of my lifestyle. And it's really nice that I can do these things with my children. Obviously, I don't put sperm on my children, they don't see me putting sperm on my face, but you know, if I have my nails painted or if I have a fake tan at home, they ask me what it's about, and I tell them that, you know, mummy's doing a blog about this, and what would you think? Do you like it? How does it look? How do you feel about it? Would you do it yourself? You know, but obviously we don't talk about sperm because they're so young. It did make headlines across the world that young single mum puts jizz all over her face and gargles with it, and, you know, makes dinner out of it and feeds it to her kids, and wow, what a complete and utter weirdo, which couldn't be further from the truth, really. When I wrote my blog about the sperm facial, I gave my reasons for doing it, which were my skin conditions, looking for a home remedy alternative, and something affordable that we can do as an ongoing treatment. Because if you have something that costs, say, £500 and it leaves your skin looking and feeling amazing, unfortunately you can't pay for that every week or every month as an upkeep. Or maybe if you can, that's great for you, but the average Joe blogs needs something that they can maintain, because as soon as you stop doing something, your skin returns to normal. So I was looking for a lifelong treatment that I would be able to maintain and that would benefit me without giving me side effects or allergic reaction or anything. I've blogged for companies all over the world because people like the fact that I'm not afraid to talk about things that others might not. When I look at semen, for example, you know, we're all human. We were all made by semen. Surprise, surprise. You wouldn't be here if it didn't exist. Yeah, the majority of people would have come in contact with semen at one point in their life, over the age of, you know, 18 or so. Men obviously produce it on a daily basis, if that's what you're into. And most women have, you know, seen it, smelt it, touched it, felt it, probably had it on their face for the wrong reasons. But I'm looking at it completely unbiased from a beauty perspective. Do I think a semen facial is sleazy? Well, it all depends in the context of what you use it. If you're asking men that you don't know to ejaculate straight onto your face so that you can rub it in and lick it off and do all this weird stuff with it, yeah, that's a bit sleazy. It's not anything sexual. It's not a porn kind of scenario. It's not for self-gratification or anything like that. It's literally a case of applying a treatment to your face and seeing the benefits of it. I am a single parent. I am a single mum. I don't have, unfortunately, daily access to a load of semen to put all over my face. So the next best thing that I could do in order to write a review on this was to ask a friend of mine who I know is in good health, eats well, doesn't drink alcohol, doesn't take drugs, somebody that I can trust and knows has a safe sexual history, that they wouldn't have any diseases or hidden surprises or anything, that I could put their semen on my face, knowing that there's nothing dangerous involved within it. Obviously, I don't put it in my mouth, I don't put it in my eyes, I avoid my nose, and I use it literally just to cover my skin, my forehead, and around my chin. You could use it on your neck, you could use it on any area of your body, really. But again, be sensible. Don't put it in holes and don't get pregnant and silly things like that. Just use your common sense. My friend is just a friend. There's nothing behind it. I don't help him to take the semen out. I don't do anything weird like that, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint you. He literally puts it into a container for me and then brings it over, and in my own time after he's gone, and when the children are in bed or they're at school or it's the weekend, I have 10 minutes to myself, 20 minutes to myself, I can then apply the semen as a facial, which I just use my hands, scoop it out the tub and rub it into your face as you would a moisturiser. You know, loads of people moisturise before bed, so that's the perfect time to do it really. I leave it on, it dries, I rinse it off, and then my skin just feels really good afterwards. It just feels softer, it feels more natural, my makeup sits better, it's not so hot, it's not so irritant, and for me it works really well, so I'm proud and happy to talk about my experience of using it. If I had a bad experience, likewise, I would say, you know, I wouldn't recommend this, and this is the reason why. I know it's controversial, I know it's something a bit, you know, people don't like to talk about these kind of things. Or if they do, they talk about it with their friends. And then they think, God, will people judge me? Will they talk badly about me? And they worry so much about public perception, stereotypes, bullying, things like that really. At the age of 18, my breasts didn't develop properly. They were uneven sized, different heights, and poked in different directions, and they were basically deformed. Just as you would be born with perhaps a deformed limb that didn't grow properly, people would have a prosthetic to then fix that and lead a normal life, or what they deem normal. I was born without proper breasts. So rather than have the treatment on the NHS, which is something that can be paid for by the government, which people are allowed to have, I didn't do that. I saved up my own money, I had the treatment privately, and I paid £4,000 to have my breasts enlarged and actually created into breast shapes because they just didn't form properly, unfortunately. 8 years after having my breast implants, a worldwide scandal broke about PIP, which is a non-medical grade silicone that was used across Europe by the NHS, by private healthcare providers and cosmetic surgeries and hospitals. And they knew that the implants that they were purchasing were not fit for human use. They did this as a way to save money because it was a quarter of the price of normal implants that they would have to purchase. So they knowingly scammed hundreds of thousands of women across the world, cancer patients that were having reconstructions, teenagers needing confidence, and mothers that had breastfed children and had a life and their breasts had fallen and emptied and their tissue had faded. They'd gone there for a confidence boost and to feel good about themselves, and their lives were put at risk because of it. I then had to have 3 corrective surgeries and a reconstruction to have my breast put back after the illegal silicone leaked into me, which was life-threatening. It could have travelled anywhere around my body, and I breastfed both my children with this silicone inside of me, which is absolutely heartbreaking and horrendous to think that in 2014 people can do this to humans. It's horrible. When I look at things now, it has changed my perspective on life. I think, would I want to put chemicals in myself when something natural will do? I would always choose first the natural route. It doesn't mean to say that I wouldn't have further surgery. It doesn't mean to say that I wouldn't have cosmetic treatments done, because I would if I felt that's right for me at that time. And I weigh up the pros and cons, I look into all the questions, I do my research, and then I share my findings with others. Because if I make a mistake, I would like to then prevent anybody else from making a mistake. I'm not perfect, but if I had seen some shock horror stories before having certain treatments done, I probably wouldn't have done them. So in a way, my kind of story and journey and blogging about what I do allows others to make an informed decision on what they should do. After the magazine then contacted me, following my blog, to talk about the sperm facial, it just went crazy. The story went worldwide within days. People in Australia, Singapore, Bangladesh, internet forums, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. And suddenly my name was all over the place saying, crazy mum of 2, single lady jizzes all over her face. And it was pretty crazy to see. Obviously, from a news story, they are looking to sell magazines. They have this kind of controversial title that grabs all the attention, and they only put in the details that they want to include, which unfortunately isn't very much because it can only fit on a page. So they miss out the kind of reasoning and humanity behind it and go for the shock factor that's going to sell their magazine and deliver a punchy story. And in my case, that's what they did. I'm not mad about the magazine. I think, you know, for them to cover that story, it maybe draws awareness to the cause, and I'm happy with that. And any media attention or payment for any of the publicity raised from this, I've given to cancer research, because I don't believe that, you know, I didn't do it to make money from it. I did it to inform others. So even though, you know, everybody could do with extra money and everybody would love someone to turn around and say, here's £500 for printing a story in a magazine. In my case, I thought, well, I did nothing to earn it. I simply gave my opinion of something. So if my story can help others and raise awareness, then surely it can raise funds for charity as well. So yeah, I donate anything that I receive because of the sperm facial to charity. I then also got to see the really interesting kind of insights into the public perception about the sperm facial. And this involved people questioning so many different things. I mean, I can understand that based on one tiny article in a magazine that is quite shocking and controversial, that people have formed these kind of preconceptions about me, which is kind of hilarious to read. I did spend the first couple of days looking through all the different comments and stuff and just thinking, Jesus Christ, that looks really, really bad. But at the same time, it had me laughing so much to see all the different reactions. A lot of people said that I'm fake because I have fake breasts. I guess you could call me fake for having fake breasts because it is a cosmetic surgery, but it was also to fix a deformity. So, you know, I could have gone for very tiny breasts, I could have gone for very large breasts, I could have gone for square breasts, high breasts, low breasts. Would it have made a difference? Not really. It was just the fact that I wanted to be a woman and I didn't form properly, so I fixed that by having surgery. So yes, if you want to call me fake, you can. I do have silicone breasts. I would hope that if you are considering surgery, that you will look at yourself as a person first and realise that natural beauty is priceless. You can't buy youth, you can't buy perfection, it doesn't exist. And you know, if you can live with small breasts, I would recommend that over having surgery, because with everything that you do in life, there's always upkeep. And you know, things will sag, things will fall, things will ripple. So many things can go wrong. But with a natural body, it's less likely, and you're far healthier. So if you can stay natural, then I would encourage you to do that. But on the other side of the coin, I also recognise that if you do have a problem that really does affect your life, then you have every right to go and correct that, because you only live once. A lot of people talked about my age. I am 26. I was born in 1987. People do tend to think that I'm slightly older than 26. They kind of place me in my 30s, early 30s, or kind of 28, 29. They always go a couple of years above what I am. I don't know if that's because of the way I speak. Does that make me sound older than my years? I don't know. Also, you know, I have wrinkles on my head. I frown quite a lot. I've never had Botox or anything, so I've got a lot of movement. And when I laugh, my eyes kind of bag up a bit. I also have 2 children. Obviously, I'm a single parent. I haven't slept in about 7 years now. So I probably have aged slightly from that. Am I offended by people thinking that I may be older than I am? Not really, because age is just a number, really. You could have somebody who is in their 60s who wears loads of makeup and big bright red lipstick and dresses like a young girl. You know, people call them mutton dressed as lamb. Have somebody very young who, again, wears loads of makeup, tries to look older. You know, and they could be 16 and people could say, God, I thought you were in your 20s. Does that make that acceptable, to dress older than your age? Does it make it acceptable to dress younger than your age? I think people should dress how they feel comfortable. If you want to show your body, show your body, as long as you're not exposing yourself to people in the street. Don't break any laws, don't hurt anybody, and don't be horrible to people. You know, whatever makes you comfortable in life, whatever makes you you, then do that. Be unique, be happy. Some people then discredited my feature in the magazine, saying, why does she need to have a sperm facial to look younger? She's only 26. So some people are calling me an old 40-year-old who's desperately trying to look young, and other people are calling me a stupidly young mother who has no need for anti-aging. Public perception is so vast. You can have 1,000 people look at one story in a magazine, and each and every one of them will have a different perception of it. They'll have a different view. Some people will say, oh, she looks short, and other people will say, look how tall she is. You know, people accuse me of being self-centered, and other people say, oh, look how nice she is. But I guess if you don't know somebody, all you can do is go on first impressions. And I guess first impressions aren't always the best kind of impressions. People have left comments online saying, how done is she, you know, putting sperm all over her face. It's only because guys want to jizz all over her because she's got massive tits and stuff like that. I first started working at the age of 14, part-time as a waitress whilst I was at school. And from then, I've worked my whole life. I sometimes work 2 or 3 jobs at the same time, working evenings, weekends, daytimes, to save up and pay for everything that I've wanted in life. And I believe if you want something, you work for it and you earn it, and then you appreciate it and you know the value of money. I then went on to college after leaving high school with all of my GCSEs, A star to C grade, with business, drama, science, double English, higher maths, higher advanced French, and lots of cool grades and a really, really good education. I then went on to college to study A-levels in psychology, philosophy, sociology, English language, literature, and snowboarding. I also did a diploma in interior design whilst I was pregnant, and continued working all the way up through my pregnancies, up until I gave birth, which was amazing, and it kept me active, and I also was able to support my family that way. I did my research into it. It was founded on science and proven, and that's when I then tried it in a controlled and quite a nice manner, not in a sleazy way at all. So does that make me stupid? I don't know. In my eyes, I did my research. In my eyes, didn't get it in my eyes, thankfully. I did my research, and everything is above board. So yeah, I don't just fall for things. If people told me that eating poo would make you live longer, you know, I'm not about to rush to the public toilets in town and go and suck out the toilet, because that's just weird. I'm not as gullible as people maybe perceive me to be in a magazine. Other comments have said, what will her children think when they go to school and everyone says, oh, you're the kid whose mum rubs sperm on their face? Again, my children are quite young, so they don't really understand much about life at the moment in that sense. And I wouldn't really want them to at that age. I think 6 and 2, kids shouldn't know about things like that. When they're older and they want to discuss it, I'm more than happy to talk to them about it, because I think you should never avoid doing things in life for fear of what other people will think of you. I think it's really horrible that people would be deterred from doing things to improve their quality of life and to improve their personal health and hygiene simply because of what others may think of them. I have nothing against trying new things. I think if we were all so stuck up and so self-centered that we didn't step out of our comfort zone and try new things, then the world would be a very small-minded and nasty place. I don't take offence to people having an opinion of me. I don't take it personally if someone says bad things, because at the end of the day, I know that they don't know me for who I am. They only judge me on what they see, and perhaps what they see is not what they like. So you can't please everyone. The world is not going to be your friend. But the people that do know you, that do understand you and have a chance to read what you write and to talk to you, they're the ones that count, because they have knowledge of you. A complete stranger in the street is not going to have that. So I can't say that they're bad persons for speaking about me in that way, because I don't know them and they don't know me. So everybody's entitled to an opinion. Just don't judge a book by its cover, really. I hope that in seeing this video that you have met the girl behind the sperm. I wanted to have a chance to react to things because I've been asked to give interviews, and how social media has affected me in the response from the public and things that people say about me and write about me and things like that. And I just kind of wanted to show you that, you know, I'm human, I'm a normal girl, I'm sat on my floor making a video for you. You know, what you see is what you get, really. You should never be deterred from trying new things. I think sharing your experiences with others is so valuable, because people can learn from what you do. Everybody's human, we're all allowed to make mistakes, but you learn from them and you take something from it with everything that you do. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be super young, talented, beautiful, anything like that. I'm just me, I have so many flaws. I'm my own worst enemy, my own worst critic, and I'm always trying harder and pushing myself to achieve more and do more. I always like to set myself a new challenge and try new things and raise my children to go out and seize the day, carpe diem, you know, to go out and get there and try new things and never be afraid of being yourself and being individual. And if you have something that interests you, go out and achieve it and go after it and enjoy it and live your life for yourself, for what makes you happy. Do sperm facials make me happy? Yeah, they do. They make my skin feel great. They help me to live with my condition of rosacea. I give my honest opinion, and I always look at both sides of the argument. I weigh it up, the pros and cons of everything. I do my research. I can show you through the eyes of a real person exactly what an experience feels like. I'm not here to advertise. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here just to be honest and open and myself. And that's exactly what I am and what I always will be. So if you would like me to blog for you, if you have any products that you'd like me to review, or if you'd just like to leave a comment about my huge tips and looking young with sperm on my face, or alternatively looking very old and desperate as a single spinster, then feel free to leave your comments below. I absolutely love reading them. So basically my parting message to you all is enjoy your life. Do everything for the right reason and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to trust your instinct to try new things and to live your life to the full, really.